Well guys, it's a cold, rainy day outside. Looks like summer might be coming to an end, and it was quite a relief when the postman brought this today from Papa Gleb in New York City. He told me he was going to send a lock, challenge lock, so let's see what we got in here. Okay, we got a little note, it looks like. Let me take a look at the lock first. Oh boy. Oh man. 18 pins. That ought to be a lot of fun. And we got a love note. Probably telling me that this is an impossible lock. He's got a building management company. Changed 9 doors on his building. Superintendent, knowing him into locks, he left him all the locks in the backyard. It's a jackpot moment. To share that moment, you'll find something I hope that'll keep you busy, at least for a little while. I have no key for this, but you don't need no keys. Great. Oh, I also think the lock may need one of your solvent baths for a day or two, since it was in the backyard. Hope you enjoy this, and maybe more coming your way. Alright. No key. This ought to be fun. Alright, well, quit messing around. I don't have time for a solvent bath. We've already opened it, so let's just give it some magic juice. And let's rake it real quick. Let that stuff get raked in there. Okay, it doesn't feel like there's any pins on the bottom. Okay, we got some along the left, top, and of course the right. So probably 6 on each. On the bottom, it just feels smooth. There's a bump in the back, but I don't think that's a pin. Probably just part of the lock. So, let's get at it. See if that thing will turn. Oh, let's get the clamp up here. I'm going to try the easy way first, fellas. I'm going to try to rake it. Okay, let's figure out a tensioning. I'm going to use the fat tension wrench, and since there's nothing on the bottom, let me look in here real quick. I don't see anything on the bottom. There is some goop in there, but it looks like it's all on the bottom. So I think we can work with this. Okay, it's floppy, so it's not seized up. That's a good thing. Let's see if I can get that pot. That ought to be a... Try the short end so it doesn't get in my way. Alright, let's try to rake it first, fellas. I'm just going to use a standard Bogota. Actually, no, this is a worm from Sparrows. I'm just going to hope we get lucky here. Wouldn't that be something? And there you go, the Wilson 18-pin lock. Doesn't seem fair, does it? Let's try that again. Light tension, as always, when we rake. And there we go again, nothing to it. 18-pin Wilson lock. I expected quite a bit more of a challenge out of that. Usually these cross locks have security pins in them and they're just difficult to get to bind. But this thing is not. Probably made in the US, that's why. Anyway, fellas, thanks for your time. Papa Gleb, thank you for the lock. And everybody else, please stay legal. Alright, I cannot believe how easy this thing was during that initial take. Let me just do it again real quick. I'm putting a little bit more tension, I'm basically bitch picking this thing. Unbelievable that it pops so easily. So what I'm going to try to do now, I'm going to try to SPP it. Let's first try to rake it. Zip it. And I'll try a standard hook. I'm going to apply moderate tension and just kind of give each side a little nudge there with the pick. And it works also. So clearly this thing is either very, very worn, or I'm going to try to rock it now, use the back of the pick. This thing is either very, very worn, or the pins are just total junk. And I would say it's probably worn based on the age, would be my guess. Anyway, there we go. The Wilson 18-pinner. Alright, fellas, I couldn't understand why this thing was so easy to get into, not once, but about a half a dozen times, all on camera, so I decided to bust it open and take a look. Now, on the front of this, they very clearly say I get it to focus. They say we got 18 pins in here, but that's not entirely true. We do have 6 on the right side. We do have 6 on the left side, but on the top, I don't know, they didn't put one right about there. So that's only 5. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 5 doesn't come out to 18, at least according to the old math that I'm using. So they shorted you on pins. Now, here's how they look. I think one of the reasons it was easy, this is the left side, and you can see they're all, let me shove them all down here, they're all pretty much equal. I mean, there's variations, but it's very slight variations in length. So that probably would make it pretty easy to rake, obviously. We also have captured pins. If we take a look inside of there, you can see that those pins, if I get it to focus for us, are still in place. So the drivers are all held in place. So if you want to take them out, you have to slide out the top or the side plates and then I guess drill out the top here to remove them. I'm not going to do that. They're all, none of them are security pins. They're all just kind of sticking out there in the keyway along the shear line. Now, one of the things that did make it easy, if you take a look, there are places for 5 pins on the top. In fact, all 5 are there. But 2 of those 5, the first one and then the one in the very, very back, right about there, are stuck above the shear line. It's all gummed up and they're just stuck up inside of the Bible and they're not coming out. So that would definitely make it a little bit easier for us to pick, because instead of 17 minus 2, we're only picking basically 15 pins, or raking 15 pins, and you saw how easy that was. So I think a combination of pretty low quality selection on the pinning, very close to each other, no security pins, and then being a little bit gummed up, that's what made this Wilson so easy for us to get into. Anyway, thought you'd like to know, fellas.